Hello, welcome back. We've got another signature we're going to be working on here, and I think I've got it pretty well laid out. It's kind of simple. We're going to be playing with a lot of scraps and pieces that we're cutting from the front of the album. So again, I'm using the 8.5 by 11 sheet, and I've cut it down to 8 5/8. So 8.5 across, 8 5/8. And I'm going to move my pencil mark so I know which side was up. Now I'm taking from scraps this piece that I had, and I thought that it would make for a nice big pocket down here. I did take some Wink Stella to the centerpiece, but not to the outside, too outside. And then I'm going to go ahead and once again lay my lace. So this guy here ended up trimming out at 3 3/4 inches by your 8.5 in your length. I do need to put some tape on the underside of this, as I had forgotten. Okay, so I'm sorry. Get this removed. And then I'm going to come right here in the corner, set it, and then run it to the other. Oh, look at that. First off, I didn't put it on straight. Okay, I'll put this on straight. And then I'll go in and trim this off. Now I'm going to re-verify my length on this scrap piece because I may need to trim it down. No, that worked out perfect. Okay, let's get this glued on. Not having much fun lining this up. There we go. And once again, I use the Wink Stella here in the center. And then I'm going to put some tape across the top of this pocket. And we're going to place the lace down. Okay, I'm going to turn this over and burnish it really good because then I'm not rubbing against the lace and tearing it off. So there we go. All right, so this is done. Now let's work on our left and right panels. So the right side panel is going to measure at 6 1/4 inches across by your 8 5/8 in your height based on your base page. You're going to come in and score at a 1/2 inch and then again at 5/8 of an inch, and then make sure that this hinge is up on the top. And to do that, you need to come right up to the 1/2 inch score line. I'm going to push back and reinforce that line. Now over here on the left side, this is going to measure at 6, gosh, you can trim it down to 6 1/8, or you could trim it up to 6 1/4. But if you're trying to use the same 12-inch piece of cardstock, just trim it down to 6 1/8. Oh, that's right. I'm using an 8 by 8 piece on this. That's what you get for making several ahead of time. So this is going to measure 8 1/8 in height, but I would stay with 6 1/4 across for your measurement. And then you're going to center this. Again, you're going to score at a 1/2 inch and at 5/8. And you want that hinge on the top, but we also want to center this as best as possible. And then I'm going to push back and reinforce. Okay, now let's go to the inside pieces. So on the right side, I am using the green pattern out of the 12 by 12. And I have this green leafy. I'm making a small pocket over here, and then I'm accenting with one of the beautiful green little dresses. On the left side, you should have this piece in your scraps. So we're going to use that to cover a portion of the left side. And then you're going to have this piece here off of an 8 by 8, and you'll trim this. We'll come back to this, but we're also going to put then the pocket, and it's going to cover that gap, and we're going to put in a that's a chipboard piece. So on the front of this, for this page, on the front, this is the 8 by 8 that I used, and I cut, there's a seam right here, and I cut straight down the seam, and then there was some extra. I trimmed all that off so that this would fit here and not take up this whole thing as a pocket. So that's where you're getting this piece. And then we're going to put a little chipboard element on there. If you're ready, we can go ahead and start putting things together. And again, be mindful of your score lines. You don't want to lay the paper right on top of it. And I'll bet I didn't put tape on this. Now this little pocket for the right side, it measures at 1 3/4 of an inch wide by 8 5/8 of an inch, so that it's the same height as this panel. So let me get this peeled off here real quick. And I'm going to just next to that score line. And then I thought this was so pretty. But you can use out of your scraps, you can use whatever piece you like. You don't have to do exactly what I'm doing. And then this cute little green dress. And I am going to stay here. I'm not going to glue down that one side here because I don't want it on the gluing this closed. Perfect. Okay, that's done. So once again, hopefully you still have this piece in your scraps. We're going to put this down. Now, if you don't, or if you prefer, turn it over, use this side. Haven't played with that side much, but it is coming up. But I love the images on this side. And then this pocket is going to measure at 2.5 inches across. And it is 8 1/8 in the height. And then my tape for my lace. Which likes to follow my hand everywhere. And then we're going to glue this here in the middle. Now if you want to add a ribbon, if you've got some that you want to run through there, through the hole at the top, go ahead. I just don't happen to have any that's thin enough to go through there and make a decent bow right now. It's coming. I just don't have it yet. Okay, so then that's that side. All right, so this is what we have. Now it's going to be left over right. So on the right side, there is this piece. It's an odd cut piece because we've been playing with some of it off the other side. So we're going to take it and we're going to use this here. And then on the bottom, and you can use whatever scraps you want, but I picked on blue. We're going to make a pocket. And where's my lace? It went on a walkabout. That's okay. I've got more. I just hate cutting it. Is it on the floor? No. I'm going to get up and walk away, and I'm going to find all these lace pieces floating around. So this pocket measures at 2.5 inches by 5 5/8. And again, depending upon how you score and how you trimmed your paper, make sure that when you're laying it here on this edge that it comes out to here to this edge. Excuse me. Goodness sakes. Don't know what just got into me. 1/4 inch across the bottom. 1/8 up along the sides so I can maximize my pocket. And then I'm going to make this, so hold on here while I'm fixing my pieces here. Okay, so that piece is all ready to go. So what I want to do first, before I do anything, this is that remaining piece. Remember, we just cut this off. We used it on the other underside. This is what's going to go on the top here. And then I am using this little card out of the 8x8s, and it's going to go right here. So I've got a couple of magnets I want to set. And then this card that says Sparkle and Glow, it's got the tiara and the shoes. It's going to open up this way, and we're going to do a magnet close, and it's going to go down here. So what's going to be important right now is setting this piece so that we can get this magnet on. That means we're going to put this piece on first because the magnets are going to overhang and they're going to attach here to this piece. So let's go ahead and get this glued down. Okay, so I'm going to put these two pieces together first. And again, this little piece is out of the 8x8 cutouts. hold on. I've got magnets. Oops, I am so sorry, but I've got magnets fighting with each other over here. Goodness sakes, I apologize. Let me make sure that I'm still in frame here. That's a first. But I needed to get to 2 extra magnets. I think I'm going to put those over there for the moment. Okay. So then I'm going to, now that I'm going to put these in, I'm going to tape them in place. And then I'm going to put this piece on the back. And then I'm going to take its pair here, and I'm going to put a little bit of glue so that when I lift this up, I know where to place them, because I want that right there, so it's coming down almost the middle. So I know that one goes there, and that one goes there. Now I am going to glue this piece here, and I'm going to pinch my fingers so I know about where I want to start my glue. I'm going to let these magnets find each other, and then I'll press this in. Beautimous. Okay, now I can go ahead and get this piece put down, and because of the magnets, I'm taping this. Where's my picker? Take this off. And this is going to go here. Okay, now I'm going to put in my pocket down here. And I'm going to start right here in the round because it's easier to trim. If I'm too long, it's easier to trim on this end. And then again, out of your scraps, you can pick whatever piece you want. Oh, I forgot to put my, and here it is sitting right over here. Well, can I tuck it up underneath there? Almost. Darn. I'll fix it. I can fix it. How come you guys didn't yell at me that I was forgetting my lace? Well, I wouldn't have heard you anyway, so. So this is going to be a bit of a tug because I'm going to come under here. I'm going to lift this as best I can. I will have to press that down really hard because I made a mistake here. Okay, got that. Now, this piece. This is some of the ribbon that came with the collection that I got from Scrap and Create. So I am going to put this in here and then I'm going to stretch the ribbon and tack it down. And I think for me, the best way to tack this, because I've got tape on the end of this that's just driving me crazy, so I'm going to take it off. Okay. I am going to trim off a short piece, and because I don't want to have to, well, I'm going to have to do it anyway. I'm going to come in here. Well, look at that. I got that measured just perfect. So let's get this fed back through first. And then I'm going to reach in here and pull the paper off the tape. That's not working out as I had envisioned. This is threading, and I need every little inch I can get on this. And as I'm sitting here putting this thing together, there was a better way to do this, and I hope you do not follow my lead. But I'm going to put this in here and I'm going to center it. I do not know if this is going to turn out, but we will see. I know there's an easier way to do this, but I'm into it now, so. I'm just going to finish up what I've got here. And I don't want that splitting, so I'm going to put some of that there. And then I'm going to put some down here. It would have been a lot better if I had been thinking ahead of time, because when I trimmed this, it was already in my head, but I just put it down. So then I messed myself up. But you want to leave yourself enough length on this that you attach it to this piece so that you can fold these under to the back side, then put this piece down with this already attached. That would have been the proper way to do it. I just decided to make a muck of it. So there it is. That's all I can say. Because sometimes I don't think. All right, so that closes. We're going to put this on. This little piece here measures 7 5/8 in length by 2 7/8 in height, scored in the middle. And because it's on the front, and I don't want to lose the front of this if something should happen, so I'm going to put this on with tape. And then I am going to grab couple of magnets because I don't want this flopping around on the top. Now I'm going to quickly go into my scraps and I'm just going to find a piece that I can trim out real quickly and cover these. glue the top on. This is going to go right here. Okay. We're all done. Capping off the glue. We've got our pocket. Tuck. Got a damage control going on there. And there we go. Okay, let's turn it over. Let's get our tape out, our wide tape, to mount it in the album. Okay. Oh, for crying out loud. That just keeps wanting to come out. All right, this one is going to sit in here, just like so. And I'm getting deep enough in the album, I think I will be turning this one. Because the deeper you go into an album, unless you've got really super wide gussets, and you're doing 1/2 inch score lines, you're always going to have a bit of a bow. And I don't do 1/2 inch because people put stuff in the albums, and I want the signatures to be able to absorb that extra height as it's going, as the items are going into the album. Now I can already see that this hinge right here wants to collapse. That's because it's not being supported all the way the length of the paper. So I'm going to push back and then set it down. There we go. Okay, let's open it up and let's do our burnish. Okay, another one done. Okay, we've got just a few more to go, 3. So I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.